In this video, I'll be talking about how to market an aesthetic practice. My name is Tobey from Training Business Pros. Thanks so much for joining me. Whether you are an aesthetic practice, you do Botox or aesthetics injectables or whatever clinic you have in that genre, there are some specific things that you will need to know in order to market that business successfully. So whether you're just getting into it or whether you've been in business for a while and you're looking to put more people into the practice, more patients, or you're a marketing agency who is looking to maybe do some marketing for a practice, you want to learn and pay attention to many of the things that I talk about in this video. I've got 7 specific elements that we use that are specific to this type of practice, and we're going to dive into those in just a second. Right, so today we're talking about how to market an aesthetic practice. I have 7 things. Each one of them are equally as important as the next one, but the last one is something that is very unique to this one clinic that I do marketing for, and it's worked probably better than everything else. So you really want to stick around to hear that one. All right, let's dive in and get started with number 1. In marketing an aesthetic practice, whether it's Botox or injectables or whatever you're doing, we felt that it was important, obviously, to drive traffic to the website. But where does that traffic come from? And for this point, we focused on Google paid search. Now, from an SEO perspective or search engine optimization, it's sometimes difficult to market a new business. And if it's a new website online, there's a lot of competition for that. So yes, you want to build in search engine optimization, but if you want to test whether the website is actually creating leads or not, it's a great idea to buy traffic. My client, in this particular case, spends about $750 a month on Google Ads, and it works extremely well. We're in the neighborhood of $30 to $40 a lead, which may seem like a lot of money, but if you close 1 in 4, which is pretty typical, you're looking at about $100 to $150 cost per client acquisition. And of course, the services that you deliver are certainly going to be worth a heck of a lot more than that. So it is definitely good business and a good strategy to do that. One thing you need to pay attention to with search is that the terms Botox and anything to do with medical is on a restricted list. So you have to get special permission from Google in order to run that advertising. All right, number 2. This also works really well, local search, because of course, if you're an aesthetics practice, you're probably getting the majority of your clients from maybe a 50-kilometer radius. And that would mean that local search plays a big part in people being able to find your website. So Google Maps, people searching for Botox near me or aesthetics near me or things like that is really helpful. So you want to make sure that you have a certain amount of Google reviews and that your Google My Business listing is filled out properly and you're handling all the elements of that. So again, search from a paid perspective, which is number 1, and number 2, search from a SEO perspective, especially to do with local search. Make sure that your Google My Business listing is up to date. Number 3, when we're talking about websites, it's probably where most of the traffic is going to go to. So let me point out a couple of things about this particular client's website that you need to pay attention to. The first thing is that it must look the part. It has to be visually appealing and really good design. So in this particular case, obviously the majority of our clients are women. So you want to take a look at how we're laying this page out, all the services that we deliver, and obviously buttons to consistently request consults throughout the page. There's also associations that we're affiliated with. And then we also have embedded here, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, some Instagram or the latest Instagram posts. And that is really one of the points. When we get to number 6, we're going to talk about this, but I wanted you to just kind of see that right now. It's on the homepage. And you can see from this website, and I'm not going to go to every page, but it's definitely women focused, very visually appealing. Obviously the logo And the name of the business probably has a lot to do with how well you do in this market. From a user experience standpoint, you want to make sure, as I mentioned, that people are able to click things, click to scroll, and they're also able to click on buttons in order to request consults. That's very important. You don't want to make it hard for people to get a hold of you. All right, let's move on to number 4. The money has always been in the list. It will always be in the list. And the bigger the list you have and the more data you have, the more business you're going to create. So you need a really good CRM, customer relationship management software. In this client's case, we use Groundhog with 2 G's at the end. It's a great piece of software. You can check that out at groundhog.io. One of the things that works really well is that every month we send a gift card or a coupon to our list of clients if it's their birthday. So just before the first of the month, we're gathering up all the birthdays that we have, say for the month of May. And just before that, on the Saturday before that, we're sending out a list to all of those people saying, here's a $50 coupon to come in and use that for whatever treatment that you require. And I can tell you, we do that through SMS texting and it works extremely well. So check that one out. That's probably one of the best insight advantages that I can give you. And we use our CRM to do that. And so have a good CRM, make sure that it sends SMS text messages. Number 5, what we try to do in this case is we focus on the credibility of the doctor. So we want to make sure that they understand that this doctor is a leading practitioner in this particular space, using lots of videos, obviously good writing techniques and good background, good bios, that kind of stuff, but really put the doctor front and center. You'll notice that in the menu, it's the first thing in the menu on the left-hand side. So you want to make that obvious. Make sure that the doctor is available for media interviews, and also show the facilities, because the facilities and the clinic itself is very important to people's perception of the clinic. Okay, number 6, and I promised before that I get to this one, build an Instagram following. This is a very visual art form, and obviously women want to look their best, and sometimes men as well. So when you're thinking about social media, we found for this particular doctor, and probably all doctors, is that Instagram is probably a great space. So we have a pretty good following on Instagram. We've got over 5,000 followers, and we're posting pretty regularly, mostly video, and it seems to work really, really well. So build an Instagram following, and you won't regret it. And number 7, and this is the really big one that I wanted you to stick around for. This is the one that kind of put us on the map and created a lot of extra incoming business that initially we hadn't anticipated, but it did work really well. So it's not that we did it on purpose, but we kind of had a feeling that if we did this, that more people would sort of find their way to this practice. And what we did was we built a training practice. So Dr. Rosati every other month hosts Botox and injectables training for doctors, nurses, and nurse practitioners. And because he did that, and because we made that successful, it not only created a fantastic revenue stream, but it also let people in the community know that the doctor is not just a prominent doctor, but he's so prominent that he's teaching other doctors on how to run their practices and do injectables and things like that. So it did add an extra layer of credibility to this particular doctor. So we built this website called the National Association of Aesthetics Medicine, also a really good website. If you actually watch the video, it's a video about other doctors doing the training. In this particular case, really well put together. And we also advertise this as well using Google Ads. So build maybe a training practice. And if you actually are thinking of getting into aesthetics and Botox injectables, then I suggest you go and take this course from the National Association of Aesthetics Medicine. I know Dr. Amir Rosati really, really well. He would welcome you with open arms, and he and I have helped build his business over the last several years. I can't remember how long, it's been so long now, and it's been very successful. So if you're looking to maybe build your own practice and market your own practice, connecting with Amir through the National Association of Aesthetics Medicine is probably a great start. I hope you enjoyed this. This is how to market an aesthetic business in 2021. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. It's Paul Tobey here. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. When you do, it lets us know your level of interest and will help us create more content just like this for you and other people just like you. If you have any questions or comments about the content, please post them below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for your time.